What is a doctrine of vocation, and why does it matter? Hi, my name is Ted Rosenblatt, and I'm here with my father, Dr. Rod Rosenblatt, and this is Talks with Dad Rod. This is something that outside Lutheran circles isn't very well known sometimes. The doctrine of vocation is something I'd like to visit here periodically, but let's keep it simple. Why does it matter? And let's look at it in light of our relationship with the church, our Christian life in the church,
all right,
and so forth. Because we see that's one of the primary places we see that sort of thing come into important play. It seems.
Start with a bibliographic reference. Dr. Gene Veith, V-E-I-T-H. The title of the book is God at Work. And it's one of the best things you'll read on the Reformation doctrine of vocation. It's a great intro, and it's short, and it's really good. He's not a theology professor. His background is in literature, and that helps because he writes better than theologians write. God at Work by Gene Veith.
He's unencumbered.
Yeah, with false questions. The doctrine of vocation, as it was dealt with by Luther and the Reformers, was a way of thinking practically about the sanctification of the Christian, or the place where we are called by gifts given at creation to us, and where it's not glorious, it's daily. You might be given the gift of being a carpenter or bricklayer or other things, and that's where you glorify God by doing what your gifts enable you to do. This is a long way from being spiritual, quote. It's being called by your own gifts given by God to you to exercise them, and that's the normal place where the Christian is sanctified in his work, helping his neighbor by his own talents, by the ones gifted to him. So it's daily, and it's prosaic, it's normal, it's not weird, not spiritual, it's not, that sort of thing. Veith covers this really well, and I can't recommend his book highly enough.
You guys have given images of this across the time about how this sort of thing comes into play with people doing, like a mom changing the diapers on her baby.
Yep.
Is helping her neighbor. These are simple daily, sometimes dirty vocations.
And Luther said they were greater than anything any monk or nun ever did. A mother changing a diaper.
And the pressure that we get sometimes inside the church is that we also, in addition to those things, it's separating out the work that you do for God, which is in this other category. And we, with the doctrine of vocation, would say that's a categorical error.
Yeah.
Actually, you're not recognizing the work that's being done over here from the Lutheran perspective that is that thing, because it doesn't appear to be that thing.
Doesn't appear to be spiritual, quote.
So, as I was saying to somebody else recently, not everybody is called to be an evangelist. Some people have that gift. In as much as Scripture tells us, any Christian should be ready to give, a reasoned reply as to why they have the hope that is within them. And that's different. That's different than going out and pounding the pavement and trying to make sure you are, gathering a certain number of souls into heaven this week or something, for instance.
It's very easy for the non-Roman church to do that Sunday after Sunday after Sunday after Sunday. I know you're an airline pilot, but what do you do for Christ?
That. And a Lutheran airline pilot says, I'm a pilot. I already answered your question.
I get people there safely.
That's what I do. That doesn't mean that they don't have conversations about their faith and hopefully the truth of the resurrection and how we can know that it's true. Because we're apologists here by nature. And we can say there's evidence that's not been overcome yet about that's greater than any of our ancient historical texts. So it's... But that is, hopefully we're training people piece by piece into some sort of apologist apologist's knowledge or information to be prepared.
Yeah, 1 Peter 3:15, to a certain extent, should be something that we're cognizant of and spend a little work at. Again, I'll recommend Dr. Montgomery's audio series, Sensible Christianity. He gave it in city after city after city after city after city in the States, and it was designed for the laity, not the clergy. That one I recommend you get by yesterday, Sensible Christianity.
And don't worry, go ahead and look below, and I'll put them in the show notes, so you don't have to, whatever Dad brings up things like this, it's down there. So, and I keep coming back to this. One of the pressures that's always coming on is the judgment of not doing these things, or somehow you're backsliding, or we're worried about your faith, or there's these pressures that come on in the church about what you're doing with your time. And somehow there seems to be a spreadsheet of making sure you've got a percentage of hours every week spent on God's work. You haven't dedicated enough work to God this week, or you're not a real Christian.
If you're in a church where that's the diet you get every Sunday, find a church that'll preach the gospel to you, not just give you marching orders. That might take some work in these days, but there are going to be churches somewhere where some pastor will faithfully preach the gospel to you and not just give you marching orders.
We have always in my family driven, and what some out here would consider, we're in Southern California, would consider an unusual amount of time and distance to get to church. Like, why do you drive so far to church? And I say, well, I drive to where the goods are. I drive to where I get the gospel. I drive to where the forgiveness is. Just because of the moniker over the door, it doesn't tell me anything, unfortunately.
The church I attended for years, I would pass by 9 other of my own churches to get to, because the pastor knew what his calling was, and he preached the gospel to me.
And that's what really matters. These things come down to, again, Christ for us, and one of the ways that plays out is the mundane things we do for our neighbor shed light into their life in a way that I don't think we even understand.
Right.
We're able to do this in a way just by, I wasn't always doing this show. Even before 1517, I was doing something else. I've been in customer service my whole life. I've been in the printing industry my whole life. And the amount of help that I saw that would occur in simple interactions, not because I was trying to do anything special, but it was funny how it would come about. It seems like Jesus uses our meager, crappy, mundane, everyday, got up and poured some coffee and did some things today efforts to open doorways here and there for people that they might believe. And one of the things I've used consistently, I'll wrap on this, is that you've said before that borrowing from what was told to you, it wasn't even you. Rosenblatt, you are not the Lord of the church.
Yeah.
And so I'm always using that as a reminder. We are not the lords of the church. and God likes to use our meager, crappy, failed, sinful, must be repented of, best possible efforts, even in our daily lives and daily jobs, helping others in some way, shape, or form, into which he uses those to inject some sort of light that's alien, his alien light that is not just what you're seeing on the surface. It makes people curious. Funny. All right. We're going to wrap it. Come to 1517.org for more, and visit us on social media. And we love talking to you. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you for joining us on Talks with Dad Rod, part of the 1517 Podcast Network. This podcast and all 1517's content is made possible through financial support by listeners just like you. Please visit 1517.org for more, and please consider clicking on the donate button and making a recurring or one-time contribution to help us share this good news in a world which so desperately needs it.